What's up, A to Z Sports Nashville? Easton Freeze here at the Combine in Indianapolis with my best friends in the world, the Ringer Fantasy Football, now Ringer Draft Show guys.
Thank you for
Danny Heifetz, Craig Horlbeck. What's your name again? Oh, Daniel Kelly here with me. Guys, thanks for, first of all, sitting down with me. How's your week been?
It's been great. Had a lot of steak, a lot of shrimp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
A lot of shrimp cocktail. Heifetz just had another piece of it at 11 a.m. here in the convention center.
Yeah, the guy walking around. Yeah. Are your sinuses cleared at the moment? Do you feel?
Well, right now my eyes are blinded by the sun. We just have the sun coming in, so I actually think I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I'm gonna just pull the.
Be the cool guy.
Look at you.
I like that.
Well, I'm just being blinded by the sun coming in.
Right.
So
It's a good look.
I feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
As Shador's biggest fan, this is a good look.
Yes. If Brock Purdy did this, he'd be third overall. Which Shador's going to be.
So we're going to talk about all the things that we think and have heard about the quarterback carousel and the multiverse of things that may happen since we've been here. And there's been a lot of talk about, obviously we heard from the top two quarterbacks earlier today. We know that the Giants and the Raiders are seemingly bidding their butts off for Matthew Stafford, and that whole thing is in flux at the moment. I want to start with you.
I love starting with me too.
Glasses
Guy
guy.
in the glasses over there.
Danny, do you, resident Giants fan, do you feel like the Giants are like stuck at all where they're at from a quarterback standpoint?
No, I love where they're at from a quarterback standpoint. I love it.
I'm good.
I'm so excited that Tommy DeVito's still in my life. I'm
Right.
kinda like, this
That big win in December really
Yeah.
did it for you?
I think we're the Giants again. It's the Giants are tied with the Jets for the worst record in the NFL since 2017. That includes the Browns going winless and the Jags getting the first pick in the draft twice. The Giants are the worst record in the NFL. And again, they're just so non-competitive. I think 6 first top 10 picks in the last 8 years. They need to get a quarterback. And I was saying, I don't care if they overpay for Matt Stafford in money and picks. Don't give him a first rounder, please.
Yeah.
Ideally,
Don't
a
give up
second
number
rounder
3.
tied to snaps. But I'm like, they actually do need. I think the most overrated thing is like, oh, everything's going to be about a Super Bowl. There is something to just being watchable and likable again. And so yesterday it hit me like that this is the end with Danny McBride when the head gets off. He's like, oh my God, this is real. Like it hit me yesterday. Like, I'm going to root for Matt Stafford this year. And I'm like, when it hit me, I was like, I haven't felt that way about the Giants in so long. I'm like, yeah, like I actually like, I would be more excited for this Giants season than I don't even know. Probably like since Odell Beckham
Ever
before
since
broke
I've
his
known you.
ankle.
It's also not hard to see the Giants becoming kind of immediately decent if they do get Stafford. I feel like with the defensive line is obviously really good. You have Malik Neighbors already. Maybe you can get Cooper Kupp with Matt Stafford, and then you still have the third pick in the draft. You take Travis Hunter, and like that is
Stuga.
That is like a real core right there.
Yeah, Super Bowl. That's the next step, right?
Yeah.
Those are all
the division's easy, right? No one's in that division.
In all seriousness, you just need the wild card. You just got to beat, again, Washington, obviously they could season Jaden, that's the difference, but it's like Washington's 2 receivers under contract next year. It's like Terry and Luke McCaffrey.
I mean,
like,
this has been the story of the Division 2. It's just like a new winner every single season or whatever.
It's like we just
obviously the Eagles are looking like a dominant
They look
team
pretty
right
good,
now.
yeah.
They're pretty solid.
The Eagles are going to start
them a lot
like 12
next
and
year.
0. I'm not going to pretend the Giants win the division, but like again, the Giants have other things that are hard to find. A number 1 receiver, a number 1, like a top 3 defensive tackle, a top 6 defensive end, well, whatever. He's good. Brian Burns is good.
I love Brian Burns.
One is it's hard things to find. And so, yeah, I mean, I think the Giants, much weirder teams have made the playoffs. The Rams started 1-4 last year and made the playoffs or whatever. Like the Giants could totally do it. So
it's going to be so funny when we had this whole conversation.
And then he goes to the Raiders?
Well, by the time this is posted, he's somewhere that's not the Giants. So it sounds like he's your top option if the Giants can land Stafford, as long as it's not an overpay. If option 2
if it's an overpay.
Still
If you wake up the next morning and it's a Matt Stafford on your team, I don't think you care about
as long as they haven't swapped the 3rd pick with the Rams first, like I'm going to be excited.
Okay. But if that doesn't happen, and you feel like, because we've heard people talk about like, well, if they don't, they may be tilted to have to trade up to go get one of these rookies. Will you be okay with that? And which one do you want?
Today's video is brought to you by our new friends at Bart Durham Injury Law. A crash can change your life forever, and help is only a click away at bartdurham.com. At Bart Durham, your big truck wreck is their fight for justice. They've been in business since 1975, so they have half a century of experience dealing with all kinds of wrecks. They're locally operated here in Capitol View, Nashville, but they can fight for anyone in Kentucky or Tennessee who's been in an auto accident. Attorneys are available to meet with you wherever is most convenient, including virtually, And you can reach the Bart Durham team 24/7 to get your legal questions answered. Just call 615-242-9000 and let Bart Durham help today.
I want Travis Hunter.
You want Travis Hunter?
I want Travis Hunter.
Oh. You don't want a quarterback.
I would like a quarterback, but I feel a few ways. I'm okay with the quarterback. I'm not going to be upset if they take Shadur.
Okay.
I'm not going to be upset if they take Cam Ward.
He'll talk himself into it.
I'll talk myself into these guys.
Into anybody, yeah.
Travis Hunter's the best college athlete I've ever seen. I get Cam Newton, who's a different quarterback's a different animal, but I'm like, I just have never seen anything like it. He's an alien. I gave this rant on our show yesterday of just basically the underlying reason you take a quarterback or defensive end so high or left tackle is because it's scarce, if you need them and it's hard to find. If there's money issues, I'm like, if Travis Hunter actually believes he's good, I think Travis Hunter's going to play both ways at high level and not like he'll start a cornerback and rotate in for 20 snaps. No, I think he's going to do both. I think he's going to play every snap on defense, and I think he's going to play like 50 snaps on offense. Maybe not immediately, but I think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that people are not imagining, what if he does actually play both ways and is incredible?
Right.
Then that's, what should he be paid? $55 million a year? You're going to pay him, what, 30?
Right.
Like, that's a value. And also, I just want to take a shot on what if he's the best, what if he's Otani?
There's the shrimp, by the way.
Yeah.
Should we get it? Yeah.
Good shrimp, guys.
Anyway, I want
Make him
Otani.
do
My
another
team.
one.
Yeah, you want to bring some shrimp over?
No, God, no.
This is good content.
Our friends from the ringer.
Heifetz has to do. We're
Oh my God.
on video, so Heifetz gets to do another one.
Heifetz wanted it.
All right, I'll do this. Can I ask you a question?
Maybe. What kind of question?
Well, one, is this watered down a little from yesterday? Because I did it yesterday. I cried.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I have another question.
Maybe you developed a
This is
resistance.
an Indianapolis staple.
Did you know
gotta
there's
do
a
the shrimp
picture of
cocktail.
Saddam Hussein like in that first lobby?
There is in the bar. I think
Yeah.
it's bar table 4, maybe.
Yes, that's right.
Is it signed?
Yeah.
It is not signed.
Anyway, I'll
Sign it
now
with two
I St. Elmo, baby.
The reason why we're talking about the Giants, and in a minute I'm going to ask you about your boy Pete over with the Raiders. Titans fans probably like, what does it have to do with me? If the Titans are going to move, they need suitors, and I think the quarterback race is between these two. Like, it's a game of musical chairs with Darnold and Stafford and Cam and Shadur, and they're just trying to figure out who's going to land where. So let's talk about the Raiders, who are at 6. You were at Pete's press conference earlier this week.
Yep.
I know that's your boy. I saw you tearing up from the back of the
Yeah.
screen.
We reunited, and it feels so good.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think about their situation? Because it's it's a team that could go with a rookie,
Yeah.
but Pete's frankly not long for this earth. And
He's gonna outlive me.
He's wild.
He's gonna outlive me.
Statistically, Pete's on the back. He's on the back 9. He's on the back 9. I'll say it.
Sure, fine.
I'll say it. He's on the back 9. And
He's over
over
look
the
at the
hill.
data.
I should live to 140. When did he live to 140?
yeah, he's gonna outlive me somehow. And then the Tom Brady thing, they're just throwing money at. It kind of feels like they want to do the Bucks thing, where they're just like, "What if we built the Avengers super team it?" What do you think they will do, and what do you think they should do at quarterback?
I've been on record saying I kind of doubt that they'll take a rookie quarterback, or at least at the very least, I don't know if they'll play him right away if they do take it, because
Right.
I mean, and Carroll mentioned this in his presser, and he's been saying it since he became a Seahawks coach back in the day, Sonics coach.
Sure.
Is everything that a coach does, everything that a GM does, the number one priority is to make the job of the quarterback as easy as possible. That's like he said that at Forever. He said that going back to USC. Just surround the quarterback with as many good pieces, a good run game, good defense, control the football, don't turn it over. Like, put your quarterback in the best situation possible, because going back to Bill Walsh, it's the hardest position in all of sports, quarterback. And so his job, number one priority, like number one goal, make the job easy for the quarterback. I don't think dropping a rookie quarterback into a so-so at best roster is
The best idea.
that doesn't fit that description. That doesn't fit that philosophy. So they could take a quarterback. I'd be very surprised if they did take a quarterback early on. I think they'll probably be more likely to go the veteran route and try and build the roster up. He did this in Seattle. His first draft, he took Russell Okung and Earl Thomas. Those guys both turned into big time producers for the team for a long time. I think what they're going to do is try and take key pieces either on defense or offense, and start to build a better system, about a better foundation for a quarterback. So that would be my guess.
Start in the trenches.
Yeah,
Gotta
I mean,
shove it. As they say, you got to shop at the hardware store before the toy store.
That's totally.
Do they
That's
say
what
that?
They always
Yeah,
say.
they say that.
Craig says that.
But no, that's like Carroll's whole thing is like old school, run the ball. That's like why Seahawks fans kind of ran him out of Seattle. It's because like
We're bored.
we're kind of like sick of this like run first philosophy.
Well,
but
he's going to
like,
have a lot
at
of his work cut out for him in Vegas, like the worst running attack of the 21st century last year.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of changes, but I think that's not going to be. I mean, that is like going to be a thing. They're going to run the ball a lot. So I don't know. Obviously, things could change, and he could take a rookie quarterback and surprise me. But that would be like based on everything I know about him. It just would go against kind of like everything he's always thought.
Where does your gut say these rookies go? Do we think they're both going top 10 for sure?
Quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Titans. It seems like the Titans are not taking a quarterback.
I mean, maybe they're just really good at lying, but so far they've not proven to be those kinds of guys. So I don't know. I don't think they're out on those guys. I think that they're meeting with them this week, and they met camp for the first time, and they keep talking throughout the offseason about they're dying for a guy with the right mental makeup. They keep like the nervous system of guy, which is just the most on the nose subtweet of Will Levis.
Sure.
Because they're sick and tired of a guy whose brain fries the minute the ball is snapped.
Do you think he's like listening to these pressers? And
I hope not. Will, like I know
Everyone's like,
Will.
he's so
I
hot.
like Will.
He doesn't have it
The
up
worst
here.
though is remember last year when Elliott Wolf was
just a
talking
big
about.
dummy.
Remember Elliott Wolf on the quarterbacks? He was
Yeah.
like, what do you look for? He's like, oh, probably body language, and he just like described Mac Jones perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy who's not throwing tantrums on the field,
But yeah,
things
so-
like that.
Borgonzi
People
in his
not
presser.
back.
Borgonzi's Boston accent's unbelievable.
It's unreal.
It's the
idea.
He could be in the idea.
Where's
he could
that
be in
from?
the town.
I hear that from my like very southern relative, not from people in
It's
Boston.
wild accent. But he basically was like, if we deem quarterback to be the most important thing, we'll take that. And then his next sentence was, we think the most important thing's the trenches. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's simple.
I mean, I think they're of split mind because they've got a hole everywhere. Like they need a million things. So do you think that either of the do you foresee a team being tilted enough to trade up for these guys? Do we think that one of them's going number one overall?
There's always enough quarterback desperation that
Somebody will
you know what I
draft
mean? Like, and it might be like last year. Look at the Falcons. No one expected the Falcons to take a quarterback in the top 10, and I think there's always like a pretty strong chance some team, even if is one of the obvious candidates, trades up or just takes a quarterback where they are. But yeah, I would say top 10 feels pretty strong odds that those guys will both have gone. I don't know who. It's hard to pair them with teams though.
The short answer is that the dominoes haven't fallen. Like Stafford, the Giants and Rangers want Stafford.
Right.
The team that doesn't get him is probably going to draft a quarterback if they like the quarterback.
Right.
You don't know if they do. I think the difference is like last year, obviously last year's class, Stroud and Bryce Young class, not the Kenny Pickett year. Like usually you're like, okay, if the team that needs a quarterback is there, the quarterbacks are good enough that they'll definitely take him. I don't think this year's quite that simple. So, but
It's Darnold and Stafford, right? Because we've not mentioned Darnold once, but where those two end up.
I think they're totally different calibers.
No, I know, but just in terms of filling the hole of quarterback for these teams, like whoever ends up with those two guys are going to be out of the picture, and the rest are going to be scrapping for the rookies.
I don't think
I could
that's
see
necessarily
Darnold.
true.
I could see
You don't?
Darnold with the
No.
Raiders.
That's what if the Rams move off of Stafford, I could 1,000% see them necessarily,
Yeah, that
even on
too,
that
yeah.
a little bit.
I mean, Borgonzi said in his presser, he was like, if we sign a free agent quarterback, that doesn't mean we won't draft one, which obviously, you're
Right.
number one, you got to like drum up business too, but it's also true. Like, if whoever gets Stafford's 38, like the Giants, I have no problem if the Giants draft Stafford and take Shadur, and Shadur's basically like, Tom Brady sat for a year, I have no problem doing that too.
Right.
Maybe you won't feel that way, but I'm like, he's obsessed with Tom Brady. That'd be cool. I mean, if the Raiders sign Sam Darnold, I don't think that means they like Cam Ward or Shadur. Hello, Shadur loves Tom Brady.
I don't think Shador would be comfortable, or Dion would be comfortable with Shador sitting for a year. Feels like they're going to want him out there week one, whatever team he gets
Yeah.
drafted.
I feel that, but if the Raiders take Stafford and Shadur's there, if Tom Brady calls Shadur and is like, I sat for a year, it's the best thing that ever happened to you. If
Maybe.
Tom Brady says that to him,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I think the theme of the Raiders so far is if Tom Brady calls you, everyone leaves pretty blown away.
That's
that
true.
seems to be like the thing.
Except the people watching him on the broadcast. I get behind closed doors, he's incredible.
Do you think that's how we should fix Brady? Just put him on the phone, don't put him on camera?
Yeah, just don't tell him he's being recorded, which is illegal.
But to answer in some states, but to answer your question, I don't think even Stafford or the free agent quarterbacks, I still think that same teams could take a quarterback, and it just depends about how they feel about it.
Yeah, a team like Kirk Cousins, pairing Kirk Cousins with rookie quarterbacks, it makes more sense to be going after a guy like Stafford and pairing him with Shador. After what you just said about what Pete Carroll wants in a team,
Watch him just take a quarterback. I don't know.
them trading for Matt Stafford and then drafting another quarterback does not feel like the Pete Carroll way. But what do I know?
I don't know. Again, maybe they end up taking quarterback because that's what Brady wants more, or like Spytek, their GMs, maybe they're like pushing that direction. And
Which is a person, not a company.
I know.
Right.
And just to bring this all back to your point, the reason the Raiders would sign Sam Darnold is to not be desperate enough that they have to make a huge trade with you the first pick. That's the reason you. So if they we want Shedeur, with the Giants, they're like, oh, we don't get Stafford, we want Shedeur. They don't want to give you this package you want. They don't want to give you 2 firsts to move up 2 spots or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, so it basically, the quarterbacks they acquire now, Stafford's to make the playoffs. A Darnold, a Justin Fields, whoever, is so that you don't have the leverage over them. Of they don't want to be desperate to get the first pick. And so I'm dubious you're going to get a huge trade package.
No, I mean, I think that they're dubious they're going to get the right package. So if let's put our GM hats on real quick. If you have to make the pick for the Titans at 1, you can't move. Who's the guy you're coming away with?
Carter, I would pick Carter because I think that's your identity. I think that you'd have the top 3 defensive line in the NFL. I don't know what you're going to do with Harold Landry, but it's Jeffrey Simmons, Sweat.
He's done.
Carter. Yeah.
People don't realize that yet. He's not good at football anymore.
Yeah.
Landry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Carter, Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, to me, that's an identity.
Simmons is cooked. He's very good at football. Very different players.
What do you think, DK, at the Titans?
Yeah, I kind of tend to think Carter. He's the top guy on my board. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't knock the Titans if they decided to take Travis Hunter. He's going to provide incredible value, his ability to play on both sides of the ball, make an impact on both sides of the ball. But I mean, Carter is pretty special in terms of his explosiveness, his flexibility as a rusher, his just overall athleticism, his length.
I think my vibe is shifting. I would say Shedeur now.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm viewing
Based
it more,
on the press conference 40 minutes ago?
I don't even know if I'm viewing it more holistically as from an owner's perspective where it's you're selling tickets, but there is a little bit of if you miss out, if Shedeur ends up being great, I would regret missing that pick more than I would Cam Ward.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's definitely true. Because Shedeur is going to be stupidly famous.
Yes.
If he's
Gonna
good,
be?
I'm saying if he's good,
Even more, yeah.
there's not really think of it this way. If Shedeur actually is what if he's just incredible?
Right.
Bo Nix threw 29 touchdowns this year. He was all right. We didn't talk about it that much. Jaden was there. There was obviously talked about it. If Shedeur Sanders throws 30 touchdowns as a rookie, he could reach levels of fame we've never seen.
Yeah, your franchise has changed overnight, and it's
Yeah.
not necessarily true if Cam Ward throws 29.
And so, frankly, there's a business case to be made, which is a weird thing to talk about, but that's a real thing for a lot of their businesses. My take on it is I don't know if anyone's been more likely to get you fired than drafting Shedeur Sanders ever, because at the end of the day, let's say the Giants, Stafford goes to the Raiders, and the Giants get Justin Fields and they draft Shedeur Sanders, and they start 0-5. Every first take segment on ESPN starts with when will Deion Sanders take Brian Dable's job, which is a stress test for how your entire organization, a cult, pretty tough culture organization. I actually am higher on Shedeur as a prospect than I think other people. I'm really confident he's going to be barring injury, a 12-year starter. I think he's very similar to Brock Purdy. I think he has really high football IQ. I think he's tough. I like Shedeur a lot. Is he better enough than Cam Ward to justify what I think is undeniably, I think there's connotations to the word distraction or whatever, but I think they'd be the first people to say, we're really famous and people pay attention to the Sanders family all the time. And I wonder, it just seems like there's easier ways to win than just bringing that in. But that's the flip side of the coin. It's better for business, probably worse for the team.
I feel he's just higher volatility.
Yes.
There's just more volatility there, more variance.
But they're close enough in skill. It's I know Shedeur is pretty much the second QB on everybody's board. Not many people have him over the board. But they're close enough where the upside of Shedeur, holistically, including all the stuff outside of the game as well, to me is too high to go after a guy like Cam Ward, who I don't know.
I think Shadeur's floor is really high. I think that's the difference. If Cam Ward flamed out and wasn't really quarterback or backup in a few years, all right, that happens. I think it's not going to happen. I'd be really shocked if Shedeur isn't a top 45, always at least a highly capable backup. I think his floor to me is really high. I think that I kind of want him on Baker, kind of want him on his second contract more than his first. But I'm
Doesn't it
really
feel like a fit thing? Because you talk all the time on your show about the nature versus nurture, the most underrated part of the draft process, and where a guy lands being such a massive. If they're so similar, and so similarly, on people's boards, similar in terms of distance from each other, but very dissimilar in the way that they play football. Is it really just about who you think is going to be a better fit for your team?
What do you think, DK?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Shedeur is more I feel like he's more, stylistically a drop back timing, West Coast, obviously he's not pigeonholing him into that, but like, you know, offenses where you get the ball out, you distribute the football, things like that. Like Kev Ward's a little bit more like out of structure, you know, playmaking, you know, get outside the pocket, run around a little bit, things like that. So I think that stylistically they're different, but it's like more like less than fit. It's more just to me like supporting cast and structure and foundation and like a team that can come in and like support a rookie quarterback. It's the hardest job. The quarterback is the hardest job in the NFL, in all pro sports. And if you're asking a rookie to come in and like save your franchise, that's like a really tough situation. Rarely happens. Like Jaden Daniels, rare case where like he's like igniting the entire fan base. So I don't think any of these guys, I don't think they're on the level of Jaden Daniels. And so I think what the basic point is like, dude, if they land with a team that has a system and a structure in place to support them, kind of what I was saying with Pete Carroll is like, do you have good skill players? Do you have a good offensive line? Do you have a good run game? Do you have a defense that can kind of support you and get you through the first year where you're learning on the job? You know, you're learning the new language of that offense or whatever it is. I think that's why you see so many quarterbacks, so many young quarterbacks fail. It's because they're just asked to do too much. They literally just can't handle the stress of all that stuff. Like Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, you know, we're still kind of waiting for him to like reach that next level. Yeah. But it's been Jacksonville's like literally Urban Meyer was his coach. Yeah. This is like an impossible situation to succeed in.
In the locker room like 2 years ago.
Like,
he's our third coach in 5 years.
And like the other side of the coin is obviously like what happened with Patrick Mahomes. He came in, he didn't start his first year. He has Andy Reid, who designs the perfect offense around him. He has Travis Kelce, who is like the perfect type of receiver over the middle of the field to help him there. Like, you know,
Tyreek Hill,
obviously. Yeah. And so, you know, he landed in like almost perfect situation. I'm not saying he's not good, but that kind of thing can really, really help early on in a player's career, get them to where, like, to get them to reach their potential.
Any other thoughts?
Kind of sounds like you're saying Mahomes isn't good.
Yeah.
System quarterback.
That was the takeaway from that.
Patrick Mahomes, system quarterback.
Bad.
Yeah.
Who do you want at 1?
Who do I want?
Yeah. You're in charge. You make the pick.
I think I'm pissing people off taking Hunter just because the generational thing feels like it actually applies for once, you know?
Yes.
And he's just so, like, it's going to feel stupid if you had the chance to take him when you're watching him on Sunday, like, relatively quickly, I think. Because he's just going to be, there's nobody else doing it like him. Nobody else that has done it like him since. What is your comp? Your shades up for him is like if Dion had a son.
No, that's Shedeur.
Oh, okay. Your comp for Travis should be if Dion had a son, as if he doesn't actually.
We always talk about that. Like, guess which. If you had to guess which player is Deion Sanders' son,
Everybody can pick Travis.
Yeah,
Hunter.
of course.
For your life, it was Travis Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
but I comp Travis Hunter to Deion Sanders.
What I actually want is they trade down because they have 2 top 100 picks. They desperately need swings at the bat, and that's what they want to do too. It's just finding somebody tilted enough to come up there.
Yeah, you have to get enough for that, right?
I mean, I don't know if you.
They need to be out here singing Cam Ward's praises every single
They
day.
do, but if the Giants are desperate, like if you know they're coming up for a quarterback for some reason, they just want to get to 1, and you're going to 3. Like, I don't think it has to be the world's biggest trade package ever. Because if they're definitely taking a quarterback,
you're still getting someone that
you're either getting Travis or you're getting Abdul. Like,
right.
That'd be fine. And you get an extra second round pick this year and a second round pick next year or something. I would. Yeah. That's the take. I would take the world's smallest trade down package from 1 overall this year.
I think there's going to be, like, teams are going to want to trade to 1 if they really want a quarterback because there's, I think, an impression out there. I think even Adam Schefter reported it the other day that the Browns are taking a quarterback at 2.
But he thinks they are going to.
Yeah, right, so you have to move up to 1. That creates
Shedeur.
I don't think I'd be stunned if the Browns take Shedeur.
I don't think Deion
Would Shedeur? I'm about to say, would he go?
I was pretty stunned when
would he go?
Falcons took Michael Penix. I just wouldn't write it off.
No, nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if.
That feels like
Deion has
the
not
place that if
privately
Dion was going to
communicated.
pull the card, he'd pull the card on that one.
I just think Deion's probably privately communicated probably this week that like don't take us.
Yeah. So I think we're good then. It's fine. Tell the people how to find your show that changes names.
You type in the Ringer NFL Draft Show and click on that, or type in the Ringer Fantasy Football Show because those are the 2 names. So you go to Instagram, it's Ringer Fantasy Football Show.
2 different shows?
No, the same show.
show.
Same feed.
You
Yeah.
can't change the name on social. That's unfortunately too.
So it's like
not
one
possible.
feed where we change the name of the feed, but all the episodes are still there. We're still working out how to explain it.
Spotify, YouTube, wherever else you listen to podcasts, we're everywhere. We're on video now everywhere.
Spotify, baby.
Yeah, we work in Spotify, so obviously go there. We have video on Spotify now.
Wait, do it again with the glasses.
Okay. So we work at Spotify, and now we're on video on the platform. So just pop open that app. It's a beautiful user interface, and you'll see our beautiful faces
Absolutely.
many times a week.
You guys are the best. Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Thank you, Easton.